Kia ora, Kuidach, my name is Wildkard. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here and watching my content. As always, it is my pleasure and privilege to talk about the greatest game in the world, rugby. And the Rugby World Cup Grand Final is coming this weekend. And, oh boy, with the prospect of the rain and with how close the games has been recently, there's a very big possibility this game will end up in a draw and go to extra time. And there is also a pretty big possibility we're going to see the dreaded penalty shootout in a game of rugby at the Rugby World Cup final. So yes, we're going to talk about the rules for those circumstances. And before we go to that, big announcement come out of World Rugby today. That the referee has been announced for the grand stage, the grandest stage of rugby of them all. And drumroll please. The referee is Nick Berry of Australia! Yes! Just kidding. It's not Nick Berry. It's not. Calm down. It's not Nick Berry. He's got the bronze final. The actual referee for the grand final is Wayne Barnes! Yes! I know. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. It's actually him. I know a lot of people are pretty mad. You know, New Zealanders can still remember the absorbing tackle on Andrew Porter to Brodie Retallick, which saw Brodie Retallick broken his cheek, and still a yellow card from Mr. Barnes. And then obviously the South African still remembers him from the French game, from last year's French game in the November Test series, where he gave out red card to Pieter-Steph du Toit, and then a red card to Anton Dupont. So he was public enemy number one all around the world for about a week. And yeah, there was a lot of negativity towards Barnesy, but truth be told, Barnes is the best referee in the world right now. He is very technical, very, very good. His performance between the All Blacks and Ireland was really clinical, crisp, and concise. And I'm very happy. Couldn't be happier for him to get this nomination for the biggest game of them all. And yeah, I think this is actually his first Rugby World Cup Grand Final. In 2019, he was in the bronze final, and boy, he truly earned that with a lot of hard work over the years. And yeah, this will be his crowning moment. And stop complaining. If you you want Nick Berry instead. So yeah, stop complaining. All right, it's either gonna be him or Nick Berry. Make your picks. All right. Now let's talk about the what we all came here for, the possibility of a draw. Right, it's gonna be raining this weekend. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be super close. Last time the two teams met each other in 2000 and in 1995, the final between South Africa and the All Blacks. This is the only other Rugby World Cup final to play between the two nations. That game went to extra time. That was the one and only game in the history of Rugby World Cup that went to an extra time in the grand final. Okay? No other games has happened. Period. Stop. Okay? No comments. Okay? Stop typing. No comments. This is the one and only time the game went to extra time. And the South Africans was able to close out the game with a drop goal by Joe Stransky in the second half, and to close out the game with a 3-point win over the mighty All Blacks. And yeah, so that was, a lot of people were not happy. No burgers for the All Blacks team, obviously, this weekend for obvious reasons. And yeah, this was one and only time, period. Never happened again in the history of rugby in the finals. And yes, this was, obviously, I watched this game. I did not watch the movie Invictus, which was horrendous, in my opinion. Just look at Francois Pienaar, right? Francois Pienaar looks like a South African game hunter who hunts lions with his bare hands, and then they casted him with this guy. Okay, he looks like stay-at-home dad in Hollywood Hills, right? I mean, how did you come up with this casting decision? I don't know, but anyway, go on. I don't know what this is. Move on. Didn't happen. So yes, the current law for the Rugby World Cup final, in case of a draw after 80 minutes, it will go to a 20 minutes extra time. The 20-minute extra time will be played in two halves, 10-minute first half and 10-minute second half, with a 5-minute break in between. And then, should this 20-minute period end in a draw again, like it did in 1995, the once and only time happened in the grand final, there will be a 5-minute death match, which means that any points that's been scored by any team will win the game. So that has never happened in the Rugby World Cup history, and so yeah, we will have to see if that's gonna occur. But If that 5-minute period elapses without either team scoring any points, then yeah, that's gonna be going to a penalty shootout. So the penalty shootout has gone through a number of iterations over the years. We're going to talk about what the setup is for this year. So a lot of you probably remember back in 2009, Leicester versus Cardiff. They went for a penalty shootout at the end. I'll put all the videos in the description. Go have a look at it if you want. Basically, this was the original iteration where you just kick you just get everybody to take a kick from your team one at a time, and then you will just, whoever misses one is essentially after 5 will be basically, and if no one, if there's a difference after 5, then somebody the team will lose, just like soccer, but everybody has to take a kick, right? So you have like the forwards come on eventually and they will start missing, and the game becomes but everybody takes the kick from right in front, as you see in this picture, right in front here, and everybody takes take the kick from there. And then the rules kind of changed a little bit to what we're going to be seeing this weekend. This was between Wales and Argentina in the under-20s game in 2010, where the kicks are done from 3 different locations, from center field, left, and right field. And we're going to look at that by 5 nominated kickers. We're going to look at the rules in a minute. And then the most recent one in 2022 in the top, this was in the Champions Cup again, Munster versus Toulouse. And this was again where there was 3 nominated kickers to take 6 penalty kicks. So in this particular match, where the penalty shootouts were taken from 6 different locations, with 3 kickers. So each kicker had to take 2 kicks, and then eventually the difference, whoever missed the most kick out of the 6 will lose, and then it'll continue if it's a draw. So that was the most recent iteration of the penalty goal kick, and that is not the one that's being adopted by the World Rugby for this weekend. So for this weekend, in the event of taking a penalty kick, first and most importantly, only the players that are remained on the field is allowed to be nominated for the goal kicking. Yeah, which is important. So if you substituted, say, man in the box off the field for Henry Pollard, he can't take a goal kick. That's just the way it's going to be. So that's one very important thing. And number 2, the kicking are going to be done from 3 different locations. First kick is going to be right in the middle on the 22-meter mark. Second one, it's going to be on the left-hand side, 15-meter, 22-meter cross-section. The third one is going to be on the right-hand side, 50-meter and 22-meter cross-section. And fourth one will go back to the middle. And the fifth one will go back to the left cross-section, 15-meter cross-section, 22 cross-section for that. And then if that it ends up being a draw, they will continue the loop until one team fails to make a kick. So yeah, as you can see that this will be a very, very interesting decision, because you're going to have to nominate 5 kickers from the players remain on the field to take the goal kick. For the All Blacks, they have 3 world-class kickers in the starting positions. They've got Geordie Barrett, Beauden Barrett, and Richie Mo'unga. And then they got Damien McKenzie, who's also an incredible goal kicker on the bench. So if Ian Foster is feeling a little bit penalty goal bound, he might put Damien McKenzie on as a winger, potentially. Or maybe just have Beauden Barrett go on to go on to winger or something, and have 4 kickers available on the field to finish the game off. So then they're basically going to have all 4 position covered and just have to nominate 1 extra person to do the 5th kick right from the center. Maybe the first kick right from the center of the field. I don't know. Maybe, it could be, Aaron Smith or something. I don't know. Who else can they even kick in the All Blacks team? Maybe Aaron Smith. Who else is going to kick in the back line? Anton Leonard-Brown off the bench? Definitely not Rico. But yeah, so they're going to just have to nominate 1 other person to do the goal kick, and they pretty much got 4 out of 5 easily covered with the talents. When it comes to springboks, it's going to be a lot more difficult to cover 5 positions. So, like I said, if you get subbed off the field, you can't kick anymore. So if a Pollard comes on for man in the box can't kick anymore. If Ville Leroux comes on for Damien Willemse, who is the other goal kicker, then Damien Willemse can't kick anymore. Yeah, so that's something that coaches have to think about when it comes to selections and when it comes to the bench management as well. So with that being said, what's remained on the field for the Springboks, they have Henry Pollard, they have Cheslin Colby, who's also a really good kicker, and then Faf de Klerk, who's also a pretty good kicker himself as well. probably not Kobe and Faf de Klerk are not at the same level as Henry Pollard, who also not at the same level as the 4 All Blacks coaches, goal kickers. But, you know, if things goes right, they should be able to kick the goals down. So then it comes down to the last 2 goal kickers. I guess you get the 2 that's going to take the goals from the middle of the field. Who are they going to be, right? I mean, maybe Jesse Krill can take one. And then, who else? Damien Delenda take the other one from the middle of the field. And that's probably the option for the Springboks. So it's looking like ideally the Springboks would not want to go to the penalty goal route. They will try to finish the game before that because they're really, even if they somehow manage to keep Damien Willemse and Manny the Bok on the field, they're still outclassed by the All Blacks 4 world-class goal kickers. So yeah, it's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be difficult. Let me know your thoughts, how this is gonna turn out. Let me know your thoughts if this is actually gonna happen. It's very likely, considering it's raining and how close the games has been in the elimination rounds by 1 point. You know, and then 4 points for the All Blacks against Ireland. This is definitely a possibility coming into this weekend. It's going to be very tight. You know, in the World Cup finals, both teams play much tighter as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on how this is going to turn out. Thanks for watching this video, guys. The videos links will be in the comments down below, so take a look at that if you want. And yes, only once ever happened, and that is the Springboks versus the All Blacks in 1995. And please, no comments about anything else. Fake news, please, no fake news. And thanks to anyone who donates money supporting me. I do appreciate that. And support me at Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Links down below if you want. And yes, we are counting down to Rugby World Cup. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the weekly news. And have a good one. I'll see you guys again. Cheers.